Champions Cup Sunday games. There were just the two, Sale up against La Rochelle, and the other one was Montpelier up against Gloucester. To my own shame, I did not see either of these games in full. My daughter was crook on Sunday, and I thought she definitely won't be going to daycare on Monday, so while she's having a nap, I'll see if I can sneak in a game or two. Sure enough, she bounced back full fitness on Monday. So there goes the plan of staying home to look after the little one. Had to go to work. So I've caught up with the games. This just serves me right for not wanting to get up at like 4:30 or 5 o'clock to watch the games, right? But anyway, there were some interesting results. I will start with the first one, which was Sale's win over La Rochelle. 25-15, 3 tries to 2. There was a red card in this game. Pretty nasty one, to be fair. A couple of yellow cards as well. But yeah, you guys will have to let me know how this game went in full. But from what I've seen, I think Sale probably should have won this one by a bit more. They may leave this one a little bit disappointed. They didn't walk away with another point, with a 4th try bonus point. But I guess you take the win. Started off with Johan Janse van Rensburg. I haven't seen him play for a little while, but he hasn't changed since I saw him playing in Super Rugby. He ran over with a try after a scrum, couple phases, busted over. He made it 7-0 with the conversion. He didn't kick it, but anyway, to Sale. Sale did miss a penalty on 15 minutes, and then Rate has got the first try for La Rochelle. He had a little inside ball and some gas, and he's got a bit of power as well, to be fair. 7 all it was. Then on 27 minutes, I feel like I saw the best try of the Champions Cup thus far. Ashton, his name's not on the board at 27 minutes. I will get to that in a second, but Sale are in their own 22. They opt not to kick. They float the ball wide, and boy, do they find some space down the wing. And then one of the passes from McGinty to de Klerk goes pretty well forward. So the try does get chalked off, but it's essentially the ultimate coast-to-coast, reminiscent of me watching the Auckland Blues back in their heyday in Super Rugby. It was a fantastic effort, unfortunately taken away by a forward pass. Interestingly, the conversion had already been taken, and I thought once this conversion's kicked, it can't be brought back, but it sure was. So that made it 7 apiece after that was chalked off. But they did kick a penalty a few minutes later to make it 10-7, did Sale. Then comes the red card. I missed the first yellow card. They didn't even replay the yellow card. It must have been something so innocuous compared to what happens with the red, which is pretty much a straight up eye gouge. You know, it's not as bad as the old school bottom of a ruck. Nobody can really see it, proper finger in the eye gouge, but he still raked his fingers across the eyes, which is just unbelievably dumb. Like, the idea that you are not going to get spotted doing that is just so stupid. And it wasn't even at the bottom of the ruck. It was a bit of handbags going on. Put your arm behind, around someone's face and just pull across. Stupid. Oh my god. How dumb was that? He gets red carded. It's on Curry. And so at that point, La Rochelle are down to 13 men. However, Sale can't really capitalise. They got a scrum and then they push early, so they give away a free kick, and then I think they miss a penalty before half time. So they only go in 10-7, despite having kind of a prime scoring opportunity there before the second half started. Second half gets underway. La Rochelle kick a penalty with 13 men to make it 10 apiece. So a bit of a fail on Sale's part during that extra man period, although they did bounce back with a penalty try on 46 minutes. And that gets another La Rochelle guy sent to the bin because there's a bit of cynical play trying to pull down the maul, which was going to go for the try no matter what. They might as well just have left it, because then Sale would have had to kick the conversion and then they wouldn't have had an extra man down. But I guess heat of the moment, what do you do? It's 17-10 to Sale. Weird moment on 65 minutes where James goes for a drop goal with his right foot. It's charged down by, I think, Tom Curry. Was it Ben? I forget. And then one of the Curries charged him down, and then he managed to regather the ball and immediately take another shot for a drop goal with his other foot. And then that one hit the post. So I've never seen anything quite like that. It would have been, I guess, a bit of icing on the cake if it had gone over, but it did not. 71 minutes, they'll kick a penalty, make it 20 points to 10. And then 73, Ashton does finally get a try. Again, it's from a charge down. I think it might have been one of the Curries again that did it. A charge down, and the ball's loose. It's kicked through, and then Ashton is the guy who scrambles on it after one of the La Rochelle guys bobbles it. And that makes it 25 points to 10. However, after the 80-minute mark, La Rochelle do go in for one final try. Ratez was not held in the build-up, apparently. And they went over for that final one to make it 25-15. So still not enough. They were 8 points behind, so it wouldn't have been enough for a losing bonus point anyway. But yeah, pretty disappointing one for La Rochelle. And like I said, I don't think Sale will be all that happy either. Sure, take the win, take that all the way to the bank, but the fact that they couldn't capitalise, despite having half the game with an extra man and 2 yellow cards alongside that, they couldn't get that fourth try. Is a bit disappointing, but their work at the breakdown was phenomenal. A whole bunch of turnovers compared to what La Rochelle were doing. They had more run meters, 384 to La Rochelle's 282. But interesting, La Rochelle had more possession and territory, but they weren't doing all that much with it. Sale made 154 tackles, La Rochelle 76, so that's kind of where things were at. La Rochelle only tackled at 77%, though Sale at 85, which is about right. Penalties conceded, 8 by Sale, which is not a low number, and then La Rochelle 17. Now, there are some games where both teams combined don't concede 17 penalties, so that is a phenomenal effort in a bad way. Janssen van Rensburg for Sale had 5 defenders beaten. Ben Curry had 18 tackles, that's top stuff. Ratez had 7 rather than 17 defenders beaten for La Rochelle. So in a losing effort, not a bad effort from him. 2 yellow cards and a red card, pretty costly. But yeah, would have been an interesting one to watch, not without its drama. The second one, Montpelier up against Gloucester, another tight one, 30 points to 27, another red card, and this one for a French team. When I get to the stats at the end, I will need some insights from you guys as to how Gloucester didn't get the job done, because it looks like they should have. Montpellier get the early penalty 3-0, and then there's a great try on 22 minutes to Jan Serfontaine. It looked like there might have been an offside in the build-up because it was a kick and he might have been in front of the kicker, but it was perhaps about level. But yeah, great kick, great regather, and great score. Makes it 10-0. Gloucester kick a penalty on 27 to make it 10-3. Timu gets a top try from a tight head scrum. It's Gloucester's feed. Montpellier just rumble over. Timu gets the ball from the back, powers over. It's an awesome try. Like, as much as the Serfontaine one is the ultimate kind of backs try, not quite as good as the disallowed one from Ashton, but still pretty close. Timu's one was the ultimate try from the forwards. The fact that they got the ball back off their feed, not their feed, basically, off the other team's feed, and then Timu just rumbles over. Awesome stuff. 17-3, Gloucester in trouble. But then 36 minutes, Brayley gets a try. Evans, I think, had a great clean break, and he passed back inside, so it was 17-10. And then 40 minutes, Nandolo gets a try. He hits that ball running. Like, you kind of wish more players would do that. It seems to be kind of out of fashion to hit the ball with a huge lead up. Man, that guy's a battering ram, and he hit the line. It's at 40, and you'll notice that time is different because they TMO'd it because there was a knock on in the build up. But sure enough, he gets one more chance before half time. The second time, 5 minutes past the 40-minute mark, he goes over again. It's some power. That one is given. It's 24 points to 17 at half time. 46 minutes, Banahan gets a try for Gloucester. After a fair bit of pressure, he goes through about 3 guys. That makes it 24-17, so back in it. 51, Montpellier kick a penalty to make it back to a 10-point lead. And then 55 minutes, Jacques Duplessis gets red carded. And it's another dumb one. It's an elbow to the face. You just can't do that anymore. It's pretty thick. He gets red carded, so they're down to 14 men for the final 20 odd minutes. Gloucester kick a penalty, make it 27-20. Montpelier kick one to make it 30-20. 75 minutes. Simpson gets his try after a Gloucester chip and chase down the wing. Thorley went close, but then Simpson got the ball from the back of the ruck and just went over for another try. He's been certainly getting a few of those in the Champions Cup lately. 30 points to 27. It finishes. Gloucester unable to threaten towards the end. So a losing bonus point for Gloucester, but that's 2 losses, so their campaign is looking in a pretty bad way at the moment. Likewise, La Rochelle, 2 losses, so theirs is looking even a touch worse. So orange jersey from Montpelier was interesting. Haven't seen that one before. Don't watch enough French rugby. Stats. This is where I need some help. Run meters 225 to Montpelier, 632 to Gloucester. Possession 69% Gloucester. Territory 61% Gloucester. Clean breaks Montpelier 5, Gloucester 17. Line out Montpelier 66%, Gloucester 100%. I guess the tackling percentage does go in favour of Montpelier with 87% to Gloucester's 82. But Montpelier had to make 197, Gloucester just the 79. Phenomenal the fact that Montpelier managed to get a win in those conditions with a man down and with that kind of pressure being put on. I do not get it, but I guess sometimes that is the way the cookie crumbles. Rodrigo for Montpellier had 25 out of 25 tackles, which is about as high as it gets, although I think Johnny Gray once had 40 odd, but yeah, 25 is phenomenal. Pellegrini had 8 defenders beaten, which again on its own is absolutely amazing. So some standout performers. I might have to go back and watch this one in full because I feel like the highlights did not do it justice. But yeah, that's where it finished. 1 English win, 1 French win. Both the home teams getting the job done. So yeah, please do let me know your thoughts on the games. As I said, I have not seen them in full, which is disappointing, but I'll see if I can make up for that this evening. So yeah, cheers guys, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.